What if everyone farted at once? No, I mean seriously, like 8 billion people, one giant synchronized global fart. That's exactly what I thought the other day when I secretly popped a small one out. Like, everyone must be doing that, right? It's not just me, right? But what if, just for one single second, every person on Earth let one rip? Would I die? Or would we all just pass out from the smell? Well, it turns out we won't die. If 8 billion people let one rip at the exact same moment, humanity would survive, but things would get wild for a second or two. First, let's talk volume. On an average, a person farts about 14 times a day, letting out somewhere between 500 to 1500 milliliters of gas. That's about 1.5 liters per person per day. Now multiply that by 8 billion people. That's a total of 12 billion liters of gas floating through the air every single day. But we're not spreading this out over the course of 24 hours. We're compressing it all into one single second. Like poof, the entire world lets loose at once. Let's keep it simple. Say each person releases just one quick puff, about 100 milliliters. That's still 800 million liters of gas released simultaneously. Cue, we're all in this together. How much is that really? It's enough to fill about 320 Olympic-sized swimming pools with nothing but raw, unfiltered human farts. No thanks. But what do you think makes the fart awfully bad? Like, what even is in there that makes it a waste? Well, because it contains 59% of nitrogen, 21% of hydrogen, 9% carbon dioxide, 7% methane, and 3.6% of oxygen. And the tiniest part, the real troublemaker? That would be hydrogen sulfide. It makes up just a sliver of the mix, but that's the stuff that gives farts their signature rotten egg stank. You know, the kind of smell that makes you question your life's choices. Yeah, let's not get that deep. But here's something really wild. Only 1% of a fart is responsible for the smell. But that little 1%, it's pure evil. Now take that 1% of pure doom and multiply it by every single person on Earth. Congratulations, you've just unlocked planet-wide biological warfare, a fart apocalypse. We've talked about the contents, but what about the pressure it causes? I mean, this huge amount of gas released by this huge amount of people is sure to cause some damage, right? Could this massive worldwide fart actually damage buildings, windows, or roads? Short answer, nope. Farts don't have enough force to cause physical damage. Even the loudest ones are just annoying. But if all 8 billion people release that gas at the same time, that's 8 billion tiny explosions of air. Not enough to crack concrete, but definitely enough to shake things up sonically. Yes, sonically. A typical fart is around 80 decibels, somewhere between a vacuum cleaner and city traffic. But when you throw 80 billion of them into the mix, it doesn't just add up like 80 plus 80 plus 80. Sound doesn't work that way. But based on pressure and scale, experts say we could hit 180 decibels in certain places. The loudest possible sound in Earth's atmosphere is 194 decibels. After that, sound literally stops being sound and becomes just air pressure. So if everyone farted at once, we'd be just shy of that upper limit. Louder than a rock concert, louder than a gunshot, louder than a rocket taking off. Not enough to destroy things, but loud enough to make your eardrums beg for mercy. And that's just the sound. We're not even talking about the smell cloud floating across the globe like an invisible slap in the face. You might be thinking about methane, right? Could a giant, synchronized methane gas release actually mess with the planet? Valid question, and the answer is not really, but it's also not nothing. Methane is one of the most powerful greenhouse gases out there. In fact, it's about 25 times stronger than carbon dioxide when it comes to trapping heat in the atmosphere over a 100-year period. That's why cows usually get the blame in climate change debates. They're basically walking gas machines, farting, burping, and chewing on grass. Livestock around the world pumps out a lot of methane. But humans? We're lightweight competitors in the fart game. Even with 8 billion people, a one-time worldwide fart would only release around 56 million liters of methane into the atmosphere. And yeah, that number sounds massive. 56 million liters is a lot of anything. But when you compare it to daily emissions from livestock, landfills, oil fields, and gas leaks, it's like tossing a drop of soda into the ocean. It wouldn't be enough to shift climate patterns or damage the ozone layer. The real threat wouldn't be global warming, it'd be your nose. With all that methane comes an unholy stench, especially when mixed with hydrogen sulfide and body heat. This would be less of a climate crisis and more of an olfactory assault. Still, in the grand scheme of things, the planet would be fine. Your lungs? Maybe not. But Earth will survive our little musical number. Okay, so everyone farted. Now what? The sound fades, the gas settles, and then complete silence. People standing around, blinking, trying not to laugh, and others pretending it didn't happen. Eye contact would be illegal for at least a week. But you know someone would update their bio to Survivor of the Global Fart 25. Social media would absolutely melt down. Memes would drop faster than the stock market on a Monday morning. And I'm sure you'd get hashtags like #WeFartedTogether and #TootPocalypse trending worldwide. And someone, somewhere, would 100% turn it into a national holiday. There'd be commemorative mugs and t-shirts. It would be history for sure, the most ridiculous chapter of all. So yeah, basically farting together would cause a global embarrassment, but it wouldn't end humanity. But what do you think?